My dad looked at him and said, you could be whatever you want to be. You want to be a plumber? Be a plumber. You want to be an electrician? Be an electrician. But be the best electrician, be the best plumber. Because if you're the best plumber, everybody wants you. Everybody want to hire you. So whatever the job is, just try to be the best of it. I had a satisfaction of just squeezing orange juice. That was a simple job for me. Don't think too many people understand that, the difference between hospitality and restaurants.
Welcome back to the Lady Show podcast, where we explore stories of success, leadership, and transformation in the hospitality and beyond. Today's guest is one of Canada's iconic hospitality leaders, President and CEO of Glowbal restaurant group, Mr. Emad Yacoub. From squeezing oranges for $4 an hour to building a hospitality empire of 10 restaurants and over 1,500 staff. Emad's story is a true inspiration for anyone who truly believes in hard work, vision, and never giving up. His story reminds us that resilience builds empires. Mr. Emad, let's start from the beginning. You came to Canada when you were 19, barely speaking English, and you started working in Toronto. And how did that experience shape your career? How did you decide about your future?
I actually came to Canada and didn't speak a word of English. I understood a little bit. Like I did understand because I used to watch always English movies. I always fascinated with English movies. But so my understanding was a lot more than my comprehension was a lot more than my speaking. I was 19 and never forget. I was applying for a job at McDonald's, and he asked me a question. He said to me, because it was exactly August 12th, 1984, and he said to me, "Are you planning to go back to school?" And I thought, okay, going back to school is it's going to be very good, right? So I said, yeah. Without understanding that the guy that was interviewing me thinking about, I'm hiring him on the 12th of August. He's going to quit on me 3 weeks later, so he didn't hire me. So McDonald's said no to me. And in the same day, I got a job at the Harbor Castle Hilton as a kitchen helper, making $4.15 an hour, something like that, or $4.06 an hour. And my job was every day to squeeze orange juice. Buckets of orange juice.
And I believe that you were very fast doing it.
I got very fast at it. Got very, very fast at it. That it allowed me to have lots of time on my hand because it was a job and everybody have a job. And this is to anybody that immigrant that coming into the country or anybody that going into a job. It says you need to have a satisfaction that come to you from doing the job. If you ever look at your job as a 9 to 5, and I'm just because I watch shit. When I mean, every person have his own way. Like I drive on the street and I see somebody's like doing a job and I'm thinking, okay, does he really enjoy it? Does he really get the satisfaction out of it or not? I had a satisfaction of just squeezing orange juice. That was a simple job for me. My boss was happy if I did the job in 6 hours, but I was not happy doing the job in 6 hours because the guy that was covering my days off was doing it in 6 hours. So every day I wanted to be faster. It was like, for me, it's the Olympics of orange squeezing. Well, the job had turned from 6 hours to 5, 4, 3 to an hour and 15 minutes. So what that allow me now is to grow myself as a person. So I start running around in the kitchen asking chefs, can I help you? Can I help you? Can I help you? So I start doing other stuff. Well, this other stuff made me that by the age of 26, I was chef de cuisine of one of the top hotels in Canada at the time, executive chef of Aqua in Toronto by 27. So because I did that, I become in that. Mm-hmm. If I only did the job and I just kept doing my job and just going home after 6.5 hours happy doing my orange juice, I'd probably be still squeezing orange juice. So I think that's the part of it that people need to understand, right?
That's very inspiring, and there are a lot of key takeaways in this. I mean, you started earning $4 an hour, squeezing oranges, but you enjoyed at what you did, and then that created a different path for you. I think...
it's everybody have a job. Mm-hmm. The question to you is just like when I say about the satisfaction of the job, it's where is this job going to take you as a human being? The success will come later. If you allow yourself. My father was very unique about what he told me years and years ago. He said, And we came in from a background where all education is very important, and everybody in my family are engineers or doctors. And here I come to Canada, I'm squeezing one. My dad looked at him and said, you could be whatever you want to be. You want to be a plumber? Be a plumber. You want to be an electrician? Be an electrician. But be the best electrician, be the best plumber. Because if you're the best plumber, everybody wants you. Everybody want to hire you. You know what I mean? If you're the best electrician, if you're a tiler, you tile tiles, guess what? If you're the best tiler there is, people will wait for a year to come into their houses because we're getting that incredible tiler that will do the best tiling there is. So whatever the job is, just try to be the best of it. That's it. It's not it's not a hard calculation. If you push yourself to be the best of whatever the job is, you're going to be successful.
That's really inspiring, Mr. Emad. And again, you're talking about doing what you do at your best, right? I can tell you are very passionate about hospitality and you're enjoying every part of it, even talking about your story. And you have amazing restaurants, and each restaurant has a unique story. And how do you, what is your vision about the future? And how do you actually keep a different story in each restaurant? Each restaurant has a different story.
Each restaurant have its own unique, because it's like your own kids. And each restaurant idea was born from a passion of a group of people together. Like me and my partners, everybody, I am the head guy, but I'm not the big, I own a part of the businesses, but I have partners that, my job was to get the whole company to grow together, not just for me, just for everybody around me. And I think that was my goal when I was young, is if I ever own a restaurant, I want to bring my best friend to work beside me, and I want to bring my best apprentice. And then suddenly we could open a second one, and he could run this restaurant. This has always been my dreams. The direction of restaurant business, it's on a crossroad, because there is a difference between hospitality and restaurants, and they are so the opposite. You know what I mean? And I don't think too many people understand that, the difference between hospitality and restaurants. People are always in awe why our places are busy, but they don't understand the reason why it's busy. But in the meantime there is lots of places out there that could do better than us, better service than us, but they're not busy. So why? And they get back to the hospitalities. So if you talk about the future of restaurant business, I'd say that to any person who want to be in this business, if you're a young cook or a young managers, I joke about it, and I always say to them is like when I'm talking, I said I give them two scenarios, and the scenarios is would you like to open a restaurant that it's a Michelin restaurant, is everybody going to think that you're the best thing since sliced bread. They want to put your name in neons everywhere, and you're going to be in every newspapers. But you're going to do about 40 covers a night. You're going to work 7 days a week. You're going to work from 7 in the morning until 11 o'clock at night with lots of passion, because it's so much passion in it. Or you want to own a fish and chip stand. Line up around the block, 7 days a week, 24 hours. Which one you want to own? And the amount of everybody said, I will take the fine dining. Without realizing is, as much as we have passion in our jobs, it's a job. You want to enjoy life too. That fish and chip stand, we're going to allow you to go into this style of restaurant and sit down and enjoy your life sitting down and have somebody serving you. Because that fish and chip stand with the lineup around the block, 7 days a week, is going to create plenty of money. For two reasons. You could still own one of these restaurants and not worry about the bottom line on it. Because I'll tell you, we have some of these restaurants, we don't make money on it. We lose money on it. But it's a passion part of our company to have it, because it's a good to be part of the brand. And it's good for the young apprentices that coming through our company to say, one day I want to be working at 5-star. One day I want to be in a Michelin restaurant. So that's the quality that we're trying to work on. But in the meantime that's not going to feed us. That's not going to let us enjoy life. That's not going to let us retire. There's no way that you're going to retire owning a restaurant like that. So you have to be, if you want to get into the business, you have to understand the two directions. Hospitality, what does that mean? is making sure that every single person walking through the door is like a guest in your house. Like Mama's days in the old days in Italy or in Egypt or in Greece. The Mediterraneans were very known for that because we're a culture, and Asian. My wife is Chinese. I see it every day. It's a culture of welcoming people, bringing people to their house, feed them. You know what I mean?
Yes.
If you add this to any restaurant, you're going to be successful.
And you were just talking about the difference between hospitality and restaurants, and you often say hospitality is friendship.
Yeah.
And how does that means in practice?
Well, in practice I joke about it. A friend of mine always told me, said, we're in a very unique business is we bring our friend to our home. They come to our home, we feed them, we give them some drinks, and in their way out, they pay us for it. If you treat the people walking through the door as your friend that came into your house, the only difference is they're just going to pay you for it in their way out. Customers or friends really going to feel it and going to believe it. And they're always wanted that. When you're walking into a restaurant where I traveled around the world, I ate in some of the most magnificent restaurants on the planet. Mm-hmm. If you ask me what did I eat 2 years ago at one of these Michelin restaurants, I wouldn't remember. I honestly wouldn't remember. Not because the food was not good. Food was outstanding. Service was outstanding. But I don't remember. Because there's no passion to it.
Right.
There is no friendship to it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The hospitality is about, my friend came into my house, I'm taking your coat, I'm sitting on the table, I'm grabbing a beer from the fridge. Hey, you want to watch a movie? Let's watch a movie together. Like we're talking about stories. How's your kids? How's my kids? This is what you remember, and that's what people remember. That's, I think, the secret sauce of hospitalities.
Storytelling and giving your heart to at what you do.
And people were always going to come back for that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
No
Mr.
problem.
Emad. How did you stay strong during pandemic? I know it was a difficult time for all the restaurants, and your story is a story of persistence. Yeah. So I really want to hear from your perspective.
Okay, let me tell you about my perspective. The tap got shut off. So a company that time we were not as big as now, had about 700 staff, and everything shut down. We were losing $100,000 a day for 41 days straight. Lost every penny I have. Every penny I have. I end up selling.
And this is in cash?
That's all the cash we had. And then I needed to inject some cash. So I had my retirement plan for myself was a little house or a little building that, thinking is if I decided to retire, that building would generate for me $10,000, $15,000 a month. I could be retired on this money. I had to sell it. And I took the money and dumped it back in the company just to get the company back reopened. So we used to go in, me and one of my partners, Jack, all the restaurant was shut down. And we had, that time we were still not digital yet, so we had stacks of checks, handwritten checks or hand-signed checks. And we have stacks. Like think about a table like that size with stacks of checks like this, across the table, all the way till the end. 2,000 checks that we need to sign. Checks of suppliers, checks of landlord, checks of wine people, staffing, everything. And every day we walk in and said, okay, we don't have enough cash in account to pay all these checks. So we kind of like with our fingers, we're going to pay this one here, this one here, this one here, this one here. So the idea is that our supplier don't panic, because we don't know yet when we're going to open, and when we open, we want suppliers to come in. So we don't want the suppliers that this guy's is not going to make it, so they're going to stop giving us our supplies. You want to keep the relationship. So we want to keep the relationship. So every day we decide which check coming from which company, because we had all these different companies, to pay the supplier. So the supplier were receiving checks every 3-4 days from a different restaurants. It kind of allowed them to relax, and we were very lucky. Everybody got paid. Like even when we reopened, and we made sure that we never went into any of our suppliers said, you're going to need to give me 15% off on, you've been making money on. Everybody got paid. Like that was number one. It was scary, but in the meantime, it teach you being humble and humanity. We know we had a problem, but our problem was not as big as other people's problem. Example, my dishwasher that has been working for me for 10 years, that we shut down the salaries, we shut down the restaurants. he can eat. My cooks, he can eat. So what we decided is, let's approach all our corporate business, all the big companies that in construction, in finance, these people that they didn't get shut down. They're still doing their business. Construction did not stop. A lot of people still going in on construction at that time. So we approached them and said, guys, we really want to help all the hospitals and, the Ronald McDonald. People stopped donating food to Ronald McDonald, and example, or to the kids' hospitals. People stopped donating food. So we said, why don't we use some of our chefs? So I went into to all these friends of mine and I said, for every $10,000 you donate, we're going to be generating 1,200 meals.
That's
on
amazing.
the idea that the meal costs about $8. It actually cost us 11. So I was putting $3 from my own pocket.
Right.
8 from a sponsor and $3 from me. And the idea is, let's look after everybody. And every day we were creating about 600 to 700 meals. And we drop these meals on firefighters. We drop them in because everything got shut down. We drop a meal on firefighters, on hospitals, and to our staff that could not afford food. So what we did is we send a message to all our team, said, just whatever you want, just message us, because we were not even, like it was me, you're going to see me in a mask, and Jack is in a mask, and we're all in the kitchen down there, and we're making these meals. And then we get a message from one of our team members and say, I want 4 meals. So we put up a bag with 4 meals with his name on it, and we line up all of them inside, on the entrance of Glowbal, one of our restaurant where we're doing that. Pamela, she never seen that stuff we were doing. So we line up the food, and every person have his name, and all what they do is knock on the door. We can't touch, so we open the door and run back, and then they walk in, they see their name, they grab their bag and just go home. And it actually was a very satisfying for us. Of course. Because as much as we don't know where we're gonna be, we want to make sure we still, until we go down, if we're drowning, we have to drown fighting. And that's what keeps us waking up every day to fight.
Again, this is a story of persistence, and you are constantly known with your innovation, and you supported your community during COVID times, your staff. That's really amazing.
So far, we probably donated as a company-wise over 185,000 meals. We still do. So one of the things that is very dear to our heart is no kids go hungry. So what does that mean is we go in between all our restaurants, and every single month, our chef team will donate between 250 meals to 300 meals that we package it, and we'll get the firefighter coming in and we'll grab it from one of the restaurants. And the reason I did it like that, so I don't add more stress on the kitchen. These guys really work too many hours, and the last thing they want is here is the boss wants us to make another 300 meals to just donate it. And so we didn't want to, so it goes between all the restaurants, so it goes fast. So you're doing it every 5 months, you know what I mean? Because we have too many places. So and the firefighter will come in, we grab all the meals and we drop it on one of these schools that kids, they not guarantee that they're going to come into school with a meal. It's an incredible feeling to just drop these meals for them. So that's something very dear to our heart. So hopefully we're going to get to the 200,000 meals very soon.
I hope it will happen soon, and I'm sure it will happen. And Mr. Emad, I want to talk about your leadership. I mean, yes, you are talking about this story and you have done amazing things, but what was happening in the background in your head? Because COVID was unknown. We didn't know what was going to happen in the future. Yes. And you started, putting your house in risk and everything without knowing what was going to happen in the future.
I remember the story of the orange juice. The story of orange juice was about what? I want to be the best orange juice squeezer. I actually looked at COVID in a way that was, the way I looked at it different than everybody else. I said, if COVID going to come in and going to kill the restaurant industry and everybody going to close, I want to be the last one, because I'm going to work harder, I'm going to scrap, and I'm going to scratch to be still on top. So I didn't look at it as a sad thing. I look at it as an opportunity. Can we use COVID to move us to the next level? Because that's exactly what happened. It made us efficient as a company. It made us do other different things that we didn't do before COVID. You know what I mean?
And you continued opening new restaurants too, I
and we
believe.
opened more because we doubled the company since then, because we took that as a challenge. Is we have to work a lot harder, we have to be more efficient, we have to be more focused, we have to do different things, new things that we didn't do before, and that's actually what got the company to be where it is right now.
That's amazing.
That's it.
I would like to talk about career and mentorship.
Okay.
You have 1,500 staff, Mr. Emad, and I'm sure you are working with students and executives and all the levels of professionals. So what are some of the things that you are looking for during hiring process?
Okay, so we're looking for the spark. Why you want the job? You know, there's always somebody going to offer you more money. This is when somebody come to me and say to me, "Oh, I need another $3,000 more," or because somebody else, I said, "You know what? Then go." What we're going to offer you is something different. What we're going to offer you is stability, first of all, because our company is going to be hopefully here for the next 20 years. So that's the stability. So coming in to work every day, we've been open for now 22 years as a company, and we have the amount of watches, because the minute you work for us for 15 years, you get a compliment, you get a nice watch from me.
Oh, really?
So I go in and buy the watch, and everybody will meet, and we'll put out, there you go, hey, 15 years. It's amazing. It's
That's
amazing
amazing.
feeling. And it seems every month that somebody just hit 15 years in our company. But why? Because we're going to give you stability. That's number one. And if you want to, and we're going to give you creativities, because we want you to be creative, want you to be individual, but stick with the movie sets. What does that mean? Sorry, like I'm trying to get the word for it.
No worries.
The script. Like, don't run an Italian restaurant and you're a great chef, and then I'm walking into a restaurant and the special today is a sushi roll. Well, it doesn't match Italian restaurant. You have to keep your innovation Italian.
Of course.
You want to keep your innovation as a steak. You want to keep your innovation as seafood. Stick with the script. That's how I want it. But I want everybody to be individuals. I want everybody to be experiment and growing. I want everybody to get promoted. It's nothing more satisfying for me that a dishwasher used to work for us, start with us as a dishwasher. He ended up being one of our executive chefs and one of the most talented executive chefs we have in our company. And now he moved on and to other stuff. Michelin restaurants right now in Vancouver, voted best restaurant in Canada. We used to work with us as a cooks, and he had his own restaurant and won his Michelin. This is a more satisfying for me. People don't realize that. I never get jealous of somebody doing better than me. I want every person leaving me do better than me, because it's like a teacher and your student becoming a famous. It's a pride. As is my son. This is my award for me. You know what I mean? People might think, oh, no, we don't get jealous. We want people to do a lot better than us. And we will help you. And we help strangers. I get phone calls all the time from people who want to start in the restaurant business or other businesses. Can I pick your time? Right? I try, because I don't have too much time, but I'd like to maybe once every 2 weeks, I will sit down with somebody that they want to open their own business, and I will tell them the good and the bad. What's going to work and what's not going to work. I actually was in Toronto last month. A very famous restaurant groups from the state were walking through Toronto, and they sat with me and they want to ask me about the market in Toronto. And they're going to be my competition. And they're very famous, and they have a deep pocket. I sat beside him, he's the chief financial officer, and I said, I'll tell you everything about the business in Canada. I didn't want to scare him. I told him exactly what it is. Now, it's up to him if you want to come into Canada or not. Because I know American companies come to Canada, they try to open, and they always struggle, and they end up closing. Why? Because our bottom line in Canada, it's mills. It's a very, very thin line. So we get very good of being efficient.
Right.
They don't have that. So it doesn't matter. Their efficiency and our efficiency is totally different. That's why Canadian companies, when we go to the States, they do very, very well. But an American company come to Canada, they do very poorly. I explained to him the cost on everything. So I don't know if he's going to open or he's just going to say, no, maybe that's not a place for us. So I don't know.
And everything you just talked about, Mr. Emad, that speaks volumes about your leadership and the culture you have in global restaurants. And you talked about Italian restaurants serving sushi. I think when you hire staff, you also train them to be subject matter experts in their fields, and you help them grow and win all these competitions. That's amazing.
Well, but they need to understand their customers. That's the reason we have to do that. Because it doesn't matter how good you are, you need to understand what's your customer. You can't try to sell a filet mignon to a guy that all what he wants is a hamburger. What are you gaining out of that? The guy feeling and want to eat a hamburger, and you keep talking to him, still beef and beef, but you want to keep talking to him about the filet mignon, and you in your head might thinking that the filet mignon is a lot better, and it is a lot better than the hamburger. But all what he's dreaming about is that hamburger, and you're trying to take that dream away. Sell him the goddamn hamburger. That's all he wants. That's how it should be.
Yes. And going back to the beginning of your story, so when you moved to Canada making $4 an hour, did you dream of opening,
No.
creating this empire?
I dreamed to be one day be an executive chef. That was my goal. Oh my God, I want to be an executive chef. Okay, I got to become an executive chef. So then what?
What is next?
What's next? And that was, I think, the sphere that got me is like I always wanted to do one more degree. I always want to do one more thing. You know what I mean? Our company does an X amount in sales right now. I want to do double that in 5 years. Okay, how am I going to do that? I want to do that, you know?
I believe that the goal is now $200 million.
Yeah, well, it's all money for the bank, not for me. Like, the banker own everything. You know, people think that, you have a $200 million company. Well, our future is $200 million. We're not doing $200 million right now, right? Like, we're not even doing half. Like, it's half. So, but my dream is to bring it to $200 or $300 million. That's my dream. So I could leave it to another generation. They could take it, who knows, to $1 billion. But it doesn't come without a headache. And who knows what could happen in the future.
Mr. Emad, for those who are just starting out their careers in our industry, and also the leaders already are in industry, what is your advice for them to stay relevant in industry and
Well, I mean, back
innovate
to
it?
this, why you're doing it, why you're in it. I mean, it is so difficult for them to understand it. You're putting your egos in front of your business, trying to convince somebody to come into the restaurant to spend their hard-working dollar after a long day of working hard. After people walking into our restaurant, I don't know anything about what they went through. If it's had a fight with their girlfriend or wife, if it's been separated, if you haven't seen his kids, if his kids is angry on him, if his boss is an asshole, sorry to say that, or it's whatever it is. And they're coming to our restaurants or to any restaurant for a time to escape. And here you are as the person that meeting that person and trying to put your ego in front of it, and I know better than you, no. If I want to leave a comment to anybody that want to get into this business, be humble. The secret of that business is to be humble.
And the passion is very important, as
Well,
you
the
said.
passion and the humble being passion. Because when I'm passionate of what I do, and I'm doing a great plate, but I did an incredible plate because I have a passion. I think that plate is the best. But if my plate that is the best, what I think is the best, you don't like it, I need to be humble. I need to know why you don't like it.
You can
The
make it
problem
better.
is the ego's coming in
Right.
after the passion. So you have the passion, you're working so many hours, and you're creating this incredible food. But if there's nobody eating your food, you get, these guys are idiots. They don't know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So this is where the arrogance coming from. But if you be humble, customer going to feel it. So the customer
I
will come
agree
into your
with that,
restaurant,
definitely.
and then they're willing to experiment with that dish. You know what I mean?
Because they can feel that you are looking
Yeah.
for new ways
Yeah.
to keep them happy
Yeah.
and make it better.
Yeah.
Mr. Emad, you often talk about your father's influence. No excuses, only effort,
Yeah.
I believe. How does that reflect in your day-to-day?
Father works three jobs until the day he passed away, and years ago. And I wish if he was still alive, so I could at least look after him. I mean, with the day he died, he was so proud in his will that he left each kid's everything he owned was about $4,000. That was my shares. You know what I mean? And he worked his ass off all his life, and he was so proud. And I'll never forget that he was telling me, I'm going to leave you, you know what I mean? Lots. And it was a $4,000. And that time I was start to get successes coming. And all I wanted is his dad just take this money to spend it on you, but it was too late. You know what I mean? He taught me how to be humble. That's one thing, because the guy was just like a workhorse, and he was nice and sweet, and everybody loved him. And he taught me to work hard, very much, no excuses, work hard. That's the two things I always took in my life. I wish I could teach it to my kids. You know what I mean? Like it's a very it's a different generation, and I'm hoping that my kids one day could understand that by being, working 50 hours a week. That's the minimum, right? Because I was working 70 and 80 hours a week, 90 hours a week when I started in the business.
Definitely.
So 50 should be the minimum for them. So that's it.
And oftentimes when we read about the life of leaders like yourself, entrepreneurs, I believe that in media or in public, people always see the end result without thinking what was happening in the background, right?
And that's how we get accused of being an ass, and we'll be accused of being harsh, or being accused. We didn't realize that it's, if you don't, I always believed, or I always wish that every business or every restaurant or every companies, it's like a sports team. You know what the best thing about sports team? You don't give a shit if that if that players is an asswipe or is not, or what you believe of the result. If he's winning your championships, everybody don't remember how he was when, like before, everybody was talking about Kobe Bryant, how hard on the other guys he was, and some of the players said he was such an asshole. But guess what? Nobody remember that. They only remember Kobe Bryant, about Kobe Bryant winning in 5 championships. The same thing with Michael Jordan. It's and when you put two teams side by side, I'll let you go. But when you put the two teams side by side, nobody say this team is prettier, this team is better, this team won. Right now, look at this. Everybody was talking about the Dodger and the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays is a hard-working team. The Dodger is the superstars, the $700 million contracts. But everybody now falling in love with the Blue Jays. Why? Because it's the people that grinding and winning. That's it. Mm-hmm. So business is the same. And if we get judged about people now in watching Gordon Ramsay and saying, oh, he's an asshole, but they saw the part in the business, but they saw the other passion behind it, so now they respect it.
Right.
If you ever took a video of Gordon Ramsay screaming on somebody, but you didn't see the passion behind it, right, or how he got there, and took that video and put it out, Gordon Ramsay would be over.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everybody would attack him.
So storytelling is very important for brands, definitely.
Watching the whole thing, that's very important.
Mr. Emad, before I have some rapid fire questions to end our episode. But before I go into that, I would like to ask you, what is still on your bucket list as a leader now? I mean, you already talked about growing your business, but what is next for you? What is on your bucket list?
Okay. Me being a good dad, I want to be a good dad to my kids. That's very important, because they're growing very fast, the young and the old, My oldest is graduating this year from university. I never spent time with him when he was a baby, because I was always working. But now I have 5-year-old babies that I'm trying to spend as much as time to make up for the lack of me spending time with my older. But in the meantime, I want to spend some time with my older. Mm-hmm. I think that's being a good dad. That's a very important thing to me. And the second thing is, there's lots of people rely on me. I'm hoping one day to have somebody that take my spot, so I don't feel the weight on my shoulder.
Right.
Because if I fucked it up, it's not just about me anymore.
Thousands of people.
There's lots of people rely on me. Mm-hmm. So that's why my goal when I wake up every day in the morning is don't fuck it up it's not because about you, because I think I could retire tomorrow, right? Like I did enough in my life that I'd be happy if I'm back in Cairo in the same apartment that I grew up in, living in on $500. I'm happy down there, because sitting down in old days reading the newspaper and drinking my Turkish coffee and smoking the water pipe. It's nothing better in life. Maybe having a falafel sandwich for a $2, right? It's fine. So that's not, my happiness is not the bigger house or the bigger car. My happiness is just being satisfied as a man. My weight is the company. That's important for me.
But now that I have the pleasure of talking to you and seeing your energy, I feel like while you're having your Turkish coffee, you will still be planning next enterprise.
Probably.
So I have some rapid fire questions. Your favorite restaurant, but not on your own.
I go to Lupo, I go to Blue Water, and I go to Giardino. This is the three because I feel very welcome when I go to these places. I feel
Amazing.
the love, so that's important for me.
Coffee or tea?
Tea in the morning until probably 7:30, and then about 15 espresso after that.
Okay.
I drink tons of
15
espresso.
extra. Wow.
And I could have it before I go to bed, and I still would sleep like a baby.
Espresso shots, or do you add some
Espresso
other?
shots.
Okay.
No, espresso
Wow.
shots.
Your go-to comfort meal?
Pastas.
Pastas.
Pastas. Right. Actually, today I'm feeling like I would love to have some dumpling. Like I'm thinking maybe I was sneaking into Tain Tai Fung and sit on the bar and have 2 baskets of their famous pork dumpling, just because I feel like I want to have some dumpling. So in a cold day like that.
What about you, tea or coffee? Coffee? Coffee, okay. One word that defines hospitality. I know we talked about this, but
That was his passion is the same.
Passion,
Yeah.
okay. And if you can please finish the sentences. Success is...
Success is satisfaction.
Amazing. And what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind in hospitality?
He did a good job. That's it.
Amazing.
It's because you're not going to take it with you in your life. Just he did a good job.
That's amazing and very inspiring.
Okay.
And last question. If you were to speak to your 19-year-old self, what would you tell him? What would you advise him?
Don't waste your money, invest it. Invest. There's nothing wrong investing in the stock market, but invest in things that you use every day. Like I joke about it and I laugh about it. I say, the money that I put in a couple of the restaurants that they closed at 2006 and 2007, if I took the same amount of money, even if I split it in half and I made my percentage in the restaurant a lot smaller, and I took that half and I put it in an Apple stock, that time I'll be retired. Everybody had an Apple phone by time because I got rid of my what was the name of the Canadian company? Can't remember. No, the one with the button. You see, BlackBerry.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Everybody was a BlackBerry, and when you switch to Apple, I should that time saying invest
true.
in that. So invest your money. You know what I mean? Don't waste your money, because if you want to retire, enjoy life. Life is about enjoyment in the end.
Okay. I'll take to heart
Okay.
as well. Mr. Emad, thank you so much for your time.
No problem.
I have been looking forward to this conversation, not only as a host, also as someone, as a hospitality professional who deeply admires your story and the culture that you have in Global
Thank you.
Restaurant
Thank you.
Group. Thank you so much for your time.
No problem. It's a pleasure.